Hello. So we've got this heat wave here in France, and there's a heat wave in the UK, and it's going to get worse. So for the last couple of weeks at least, we've had temperatures in the mid to late 30s, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. So I thought I'd share a few of the tips that I've found as an English person living in France in a house with no air conditioning and living quite simply. I just thought I'd share a few of the very easy things that we do to keep cool and to keep the house cooler. So the first thing is to wear cool clothing. So this is my coolest dress. And so I've had this on so much, I literally wash it, it's very light, dries really quickly in this heat. And so yeah, wear something cool. The other sensible thing is just to not go out in the sun. Certainly here, what I do is I get up about 6 normally, but say it was a bit later. I do anything that I need to do outside or anything that's very, more active. I do that between the hours of 6 in the morning and 10 in the morning. So if you get up a bit later, yes, you've got less time. So those first 3 or 4 hours I find are really handy for doing that because it's cool at that time of day. The next thing is, in your house, close all the windows and curtains on the sunny side. So in the morning or whenever, say in the morning, you get up, it's a bit cooler. And the temptation is, like, especially in England where we don't have so much sun, is to open all the windows, let the sun in. But when it's so hot, close all the curtains and windows on the sunny side of your house. On the other side, on the shady side, you could open them, try and open those windows and get some of that morning air in that's a bit cooler. It'll help later on in the day. And then as the sun moves around, make sure you do the opposite. Although in the afternoon you'll probably find it's too hot outside to open the windows. Check the temperature of the air coming in. In the afternoon it'll be too hot, so keep those windows shut, but you can actually open the curtains then if you want to, if the sun's not shining on the actual window itself. Reduce the amount of cooking you do. Don't put the oven on or anything on any more than you actually need to. And if you have facilities to cook outside, maybe a barbecue or something like that, you could always do that if you can find a shady spot. But try and reduce your cooking time because it just really warms your house up, of course. It's great in winter, but in summer it just makes it too hot. Or if you need to cook, do it in the evening. That's better because then your house is going to be cooling down overnight. So it's not quite as bad. So save your cooking for the evening or just reduce it completely. The other thing, of course, is to drink plenty. I've got a container here. I drink several of these a day. I find I'm just drinking all the time. So I've nearly always got some water next to me. And I just keep drinking and drinking because you're losing so much moisture. You're sweating a lot in this temperature. And that's one of the things I noticed when we came to France is we just weren't drinking enough. We had to get used to drinking more, especially in summer. Very good. And the other thing to watch is your salt levels, because when you're sweating, you're losing a lot of salt as well. So make sure you're having enough salt. I have, like when it's warm weather like this, I like a big salad. So put loads of salt on the lettuce and everything, on tomatoes, crisps even, anything that makes sure you're getting enough salt, because there's such a thing nowadays to not have much salt on everything. But when the weather's like this, you're losing a lot of salt and that can cause problems. Yeah. The other thing is, I find I like a cool shower and I like cool drinks, but I've noticed a lot of people say that actually it's better to have warm showers and warm drinks, and that actually cools you down because it makes all the vessels on the surface of your skin dilate. And then you sweat and you lose that heat. The other thing I find here, it's so humid here that you sweat and it's just, you just soak through. It doesn't seem to go anywhere because of the humidity. But do whatever works for you. So I prefer the cold showers, some lovely cool swimming pools here, so we're very lucky. We don't have one, but a lot of friends do have. And I prefer cool drinks as well. But see what works, because try the hot drinks thing, because I think sometimes I can understand how that could work as well. And then finally at night, which is the thing that is the worst, isn't it? When it's hot, trying to get to sleep at night is horrible. So if you've got somewhere, either consider moving down a level, because what you find is the top of your house will get much hotter. So each level you go up, it's hotter. So our bedroom normally is up in the roofs. It's very hot up there. I just checked the temperature not long ago and it was 32 up there. So that's very uncomfortable for sleeping in. The next level down is a bit better, and we do have a bed settee there, so sometimes in summer we've slept on that level. And then this floor I'm on at the moment, the bottom floor, which is our kitchen, is just so much better. And we're lucky because we've got a house with very thick walls. If you can adapt your sleeping place and you can actually sleep on a lower level, I would do that. You could even consider sleeping in a tent in the garden. That's definitely cooler as well. Once the evening comes in, it gets a lot cooler. I think it's like everything, it's being sensible, but especially in the UK, we're not used to it. And English people in other countries, we're not really used to it. We're so used to, hey, the sun's out, we get out in the sun, tend to get burnt and that kind of thing. But these sustained high temperatures, it is important to look after yourself and really rest in the afternoon when it's at its hottest, the sun, and it's its hottest outside. Just find little things to do inside or just rest. You know, you might find you need to sleep even because it's very wearing, especially when it goes on for several days. And then the other thing that I find really helpful, and this was my mum that always did this and told me about this, and it's so simple, and yet I've spoken to people since who don't think of doing it or they've never done that. Get a face cloth or a towel, whichever you prefer, and wet it before you go to bed. Cold water, just wet it through. I've even heard of some people putting it in the freezer and then having it, but you've got to watch that a little bit because if you're putting something actually frozen on your skin, you can actually get a bit of an ice burn. But I find it works great with a wet cloth. Take that to bed with you, have it beside the bed, have a glass of water as well so you've got some water, and you just use this, you just wipe your face whenever you wake up or even when you're trying to get off to sleep, that initial trying to get to sleep. Just keep wiping yourself. You can put it all over your body just to cool you down. This area at the back of your neck as well is a particularly good place to cool because a lot of blood vessels go there and they're a bit closer to the surface, and so that's a really good place to put it. But you'll find that really helps. If you're lucky enough, you've got little spray things and actually spray water on as well. That can be a good idea. And those of you who've got air conditioning, well, you're sorted. And if you've got a freezer or a fridge, that helps as well, because obviously you can have lots of cool things. So we haven't got the fridge or the freezer either. So we really just manage on what we can do. You can get little fans, and we've got some very small ones that we can use. And they don't use much electricity, so we can use them if we need to. But funnily enough, this year I haven't really used the fan. I've just managed with the other things. So I hope that helps. Just really simple little tips, but might be something useful there. So all the best. Stay cool. See you. Bye.